Did y'all know that Shai GA and Nickeil Alexander-Walker are cousins? Or is it just me? Because I didn't know it at all. I mean, they both got Alexander in their last name, but I didn't know they were cousins. Like, blood cousins. Did y'all know that? I didn't. Well, apparently, they are blood cousins. I knew they both from Canada, but I didn't know they was kinfolk. And I came across this great story that basically talks about, you know, how they came up and stuff like that. So, you know, I might as well, you know, go ahead and share that with y'all. I didn't know. So let's check it out, man. Let's take a read, shall we? Let's go on the reading rainbow. Cousins. Growing up, Gildress Alexander lived in Hamilton, Ontario, while Alexander Walker lived in Toronto. Although they were separated by a 40-minute car ride, the cousins were more like brothers. Gildress Alexander's dad and Alexander Walker's uncle, Vaughn Alexander, played a massive role in his life. While his mother worked 2 jobs as a single parent, it was Vaughn Alexander who served as a father figure in Alexander Walker's life. I'm really fortunate to have him in my life growing up, said Alexander Walker. As kids, the pair would spend weekends playing whatever sports they could get their hands on, whether it was soccer, football, or even playing baseball with an old tennis ball. By the time they were in high school, Gildress Alexander and Alexander Walker had become noticeably high-level basketball players. So good, in fact, that Gildress Alexander made the move to Chattanooga, Tennessee to play at Hamilton Heights Christian Academy. Not long after, Alexander Walker made the decision to relocate with his cousin. Didn't know they was cousins. Didn't know. You learn something new every day. The relationship they had as kids still continues as the two grow into professionals in the league. Even despite the 700 miles that separates them between Oklahoma City and New Orleans, they talk almost every day, and most of the time, it's not about basketball. We grew up playing so much, we need time away from it, said Alexander Walker. We've always been each other's outlets away from that, because we have the same interests as well, which makes things a lot easier. When Alexander Walker checked into the game on Saturday with just over 3 minutes left, this is when they first faced each other, to go in the first quarter, who else better to check him than his cousin, who knew him better than anyone else on the floor? How would it be to play in the NBA with your cousin, who had been a part of his development as a player since he had been a young kid living in Ontario? I know his tendencies. He knows mine. We played together all our lives. So it's just a cool moment. I bet it was, man. For that reason, each time they were on the floor together, the pair would guard each other. Both have the same explosiveness and craftiness to get to the rim, and at times use the same recognizable moves. Now that I know they're cousins, their games are similar. And just the fact that now Nickeil Alexander-Walker, now I know his bloodline. I know him and Shai GA got the same blood running in their veins. We got to keep him on the squad. He ain't going nowhere. Between a scoop layup attempt from Alexander Walker and a shift in and out dribble to attack the lane used by both cousins, it was clear the duo had spent years in the same gym constructing their game together. Although Alexander Walker finished with a game-high 23 points, and the Pelicans rookie Alexander-Walker tallied 4 points in just under 8 minutes of playing time. He's changed lately now. It won't be the final stat that these two remember from Saturday's game. Post-game, Gilgeous Alexander made a beeline to the Pelicans bench to meet his cousin. After a brief embrace and a few words, the pair exchanged jerseys, smiling in front of a crowd of cameras. The Ontario natives proudly commemorated the dreamlike moment they could only imagine as kids when they were recreating top plays on the Fisher-Price hoop in Canada. Everybody had a Fisher-Price hoop. It doesn't feel real, said Alexander-Walker. It's almost like I'm at a loss for words. They're cousins. They're happy and they're singing and they're buzzing. And they're from Canada. Okay. I didn't know. Cousins. That's a hooping family, man. Man, I know they have some battles. And they say iron sharpens iron. So, just imagine the talks they had. Just talking to each other like, man, we both going to the league. We both going to make it, man. We both going to be on teams. We might be on a team together. And then it actually happens. You got to speak stuff into existence. This is a prime example of it. Because nan one of them may have made it to the NBA if they didn't have each other in their lives. Do you know what I mean? They both made it. Momenty, I had no idea either. I just knew they both had 2 last names, you know, the combined names, and they both had Alexander in their name. I knew they were both from Canada. You know, I guess, you know, ain't no such thing as a coincidence, really. It really ain't. Because we should have known. And now that I know they're cousins, do you see how similar their games are now? I need Nickeil. I need him to do more. I expect more out of him now. I didn't know that was your cousin, dog. You shouldn't have let me know that. You shouldn't have let me know that. No. Man, Shai GA is the truth. He is the truth.